everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for our weekly Wednesday chat and I'm excited as always. But before we jump right in, make sure you hit that notification bell and that subscription button. I think it goes the other way around, but make sure you hit both so you don't miss out on any future uploads. I upload videos every single Wednesday, and then every other week I upload the weekly vlog, so make sure you stay tuned. I've changed the angle of the camera. Usually I'm kind of like facing this way, but I was like, you know what, let's come from an angle today. And as you can tell by the title, today's topic is not a new one. It's one that I've talked about multiple times, but I truly wanted to make a separate video for it because I feel like it's super key at this moment. And two things kind of sparked me wanting to make a separate video for this. One, a video that I made yesterday, but also a video that I saw on TikTok. The video that I saw on TikTok was kind of just talking about making vision boards or prayer boards. I kind of like prayer boards a little bit better. I don't know, prayer vision, whatever you want to call it. And I guess somebody kind of mentioned along the lines of how they felt discouraged because maybe they didn't accomplish a lot of their goals. And that's really what I want to talk about. And that is truly to get in the attitude of gratitude. Ooh, I like that. Attitude of gratitude. To get in the attitude of gratitude and not feeling down. I've shared before that moment where either the end of the month comes or the end of the year, and we always have that feeling of like, dang, I wish I did more, or maybe I didn't do enough. And especially now, because it's truly a time of reflection of where you're looking back on the year, what did you do, what didn't you do, which we're gonna make a whole gratitude list at the end of this video, so get your notepad ready. But I truly wanted us to sit and just make sure that we reflect together on this year, because it's so easy to see the things that didn't happen and let that overshadow the joy and the happiness of the things that did happen. So much so that going into the new year, we can almost play it small. And I feel like there's nothing worse than playing this small when it comes to God and your goals and your visions. Like playing this small and God, they don't even belong in the same sense. It's like playing small, big God, like no. And I'm sharing this because I felt myself do that a few times previous years where it was like I look back on the year, I'm like, wow, I didn't accomplish a lot of things that I wanted to accomplish, but I was getting ready to write my vision board and my plans for the next year, and I found myself playing it very small because I was almost afraid to write down the big goals that I still had, because I'm like, well, if it didn't happen last year, let me not write maybe a big goal like that anymore. Let's say maybe by next year you want to buy a house, where you're like, well, it didn't really look like it was going to happen this year, so maybe let me just say, let me get an apartment. When it's like, maybe God has even given you the vision that you're going to get a house, but you want to play it small because this year might not have been a representation of the fact that you're on track for that goal. And I don't want you to play it small because, like I said, playing it small and being with God, it just does not work in the same senses at all. Because one, I feel like subconsciously you're kind of saying that you don't trust God and you doubt God a little bit by playing it small. Another thing that happened recently for me that really wanted me to make this, that really inspired me to make this video, was I hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, which let's give a little round of applause for the family over here. And I felt myself for a quick second lose that attitude of gratitude, as I said earlier, which I almost got down on myself, because if I'm being very realistic and just open and transparent, I thought I was gonna hit 100K subscribers this year. Like, it was just gonna happen. How it was gonna happen, I didn't know. And it was kind of like towards the end of the year, I'm like, okay, so if you hit maybe like 2,000 this month, 2,000 this month, it was like it could happen. And it was like as the months go on, I was kind of like, well, I guess it's not happening. And even when I hit 5,000 subscribers, I wasn't as excited as I should be. And I snapped out of it pretty quickly, thank God. But it was one of those moments where I was like, dang, I thought I would be celebrating a different number. But I had to snap out of it really quick. And like I said in my last video, make your life a prayer and rebuke those thoughts. I was like, Kemi, this is still a huge accomplishment. And don't let the fact that you didn't accomplish one accomplishment stop you from celebrating one. And another piggyback to this is, it's currently December 12th, 2023. Like I said, I have about 5,000 subscribers and some change. Obviously, I can't remember the exact number right now. But realistically, the idea that I'll hit 100,000 subscribers, realistically, is out of the picture. Let's just say that. And I say realistically because it's so easy to throw in the towel at this moment and feel like, well, it can't happen anymore. The year is pretty much over. As it is right now at December 12th, 3:27 p.m. If God wanted it to happen, that I hit 100,000 subscribers, it's now 3:28. But my whole point is, as it is right now at 3:28 p.m. on December 12th, 2023, when I'm filming this video, if God wanted it to happen exactly tomorrow, 24 hours from now, that will be December 13th, 3:28 p.m. God can make it happen that I will have 100,000 subscribers. And that's why I want to say, one, you can't throw in the towel, and two, we don't follow a timeline to where there's no need to get sad that I don't have 100,000 subscribers right now, because one, there's still 20 days left in the year. And knowing the God that I serve and know who my God is, if God wanted to make it happen 24 hours from now, I know he can make it happen, let alone in 20 days. That's number one. And then number two, even if I don't get that 100,000 subscribers for whatever reason by the end of the year, I can sit back and say it wasn't my time, because I know in my heart that I've done all the work, I've prayed, I've done what I should, that it's just not my time. Well, I sound so mature right now. Oh my gosh. A year for me, Kemi, now would not be saying that right now. That's why I just... Anyway, back to the video. Truly, truly, even if that didn't happen, I can still sit down and play this sound. Wow. God has really brought me far this year. My gosh. God is still doing a great thing. Even if what I wanted to is not happening, I can still know that God is doing a good thing. And I think there's a piece that comes with that, as it talks about in Ecclesiastes. I can't remember what chapter, where it talks about there's a time for everything. I have truly, like I told y'all in my last video, I can't stress anymore. Stress doesn't know my address anymore. Stress does not know my address anymore. I can't stress about things that I can't control anymore. And I've simply got to a point of, if I don't have it, it's not my time. And I'm okay with that. And that sounds so crazy coming from me, because what do you mean it's not happening? I want it to happen on my own timing. But this video is not even about time. It's truly about gratitude. And I can't emphasize that enough, of like, don't lose gratitude just because you don't have certain things in life. That does not mean that God will not make it happen. And I think when you get to that place of full trust, like I said, I know, and I think also knowing God, I know that God, if he really wanted to, because I don't serve a little God, I serve a big, I sound like a preacher right now, I serve a big and mighty God. So I know exactly 24 hours from now, if he wanted to make it happen, I can come back tomorrow and be like, guys, he did it. I'm at 100,000 subscribers. I know that he can do it. But if it doesn't happen, I know that maybe it's not my season yet. But that does not mean that I should lose faith. That does not mean I should lose trust. That does not mean I should now play small, because this goal that I set for myself, I didn't hit it. And that was truly just one of the things that went through my mind, where I'm like, Kemi, you can't not celebrate the 5,000 just because you don't have that 100,000 that you thought you got, which I talked about before, where if you don't steward the little things that you have, how can God trust you even more? If I'm not even grateful for the 5K, how will I be grateful for the 100K? Literally things like that is what was just going through my mind. But I truly knew that even this 5K, even though it's not the number that I thought it would be, I still need to have an attitude of gratitude. I still need to be thankful. I still need to be grateful for everybody that's watching, that's commenting, all that stuff. And which now leads into my video that I made yesterday, where I was just driving and I was listening to some worship music. And I was truly just thanking God, not for the big things, but the quote unquote little things, I would say. Just because, like, we wake up sometimes and, like, I don't know what it was. We were at church like 2-3 weeks ago. It was during worship, and we're just singing songs, and I'm like, I was very, very aware of that moment. Like, wow, my fingers are moving, my legs are moving, my organs are working, I'm breathing air, I don't need oxygen, I don't need anything. I drove to church. I was doing my makeup a little bit while I was driving to church, and I still got there safe and sound, to where I'm like, I think sometimes we take these things for granted and we write them off as things to be grateful for, and just things to be thankful for. That's kind of what led into yesterday, to where I was just driving. I'm like, God, I go out every single day. There's some times where I don't know how I got to my journey because my head was somewhere else, but God took me there safe and sound. We do certain things with such ease. People, they don't have the privilege to just go up and get out like that. I remember a woman was telling me, one of the things that got her to stop smoking was this woman that was in her 40s. She couldn't walk simply from her doorstep to the mailbox without needing oxygen. And she said her just seeing that made her quit smoking cold turkey, because it was just like, it was just a moment for her. But it also led into something that my dad also tells me all the time during prayer and stuff. And it's not to make mockery of anybody, I just want to give that disclaimer. But he was saying that the same oxygen that some of us breathe so freely, others have to pay for. Like, we wake up and we're breathing in air and everything and all that stuff, but some people don't have the privilege to do that. Even just like being in your house, like, so many things could go wrong over the course of the night or the day, but God is still like preserving us and keeping us safe and sound. And I think that's something to be so, so grateful for. And just in my reflection, I was truly like, okay, Kemi, don't just thank God for maybe the 5,000 subscribers or the new job or this or that, but truly thank God for the seemingly little things that you forget to thank Him for. Breathing, your bones are working, my legs are like, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I wiggle my fingers and my toes, I'm like, wow, they're still there, they're still working. Yesterday was truly just a moment of being very, very thankful to God. All these things that we just sometimes forget about, I just wanted to really, really thank God yesterday. Okay, so now that I've gone on all that, I'm still gonna talk a little bit, but we're gonna go into us writing our gratitude list. I have my pen and my little color pencils. So we're just gonna write a gratitude list for things that happened this year. Another thing that I also do, and I actually have it in front of me, I might bring it up, is I have a gratitude jar. This is just basically when things happen, I don't care what it is. Sometimes It's simple as me writing, I'm alive and well today. That's just it. I have a gratitude jar. It's a little mason, let me get it. It's literally a mason jar, and I have post-its. I write my little gratitude moments. Sometimes I also have, I think this is the one that's actually kind of mixed, but I don't care, because if it's a prayer, God has already done it, and you gotta thank him. And that's not a song, Kimmy. Thank him in advance. Anyway, I just write down things that I'm grateful for. Like, I think having something like this or like a 5-minute journal just makes you very, very intentional to be thankful for life as you go on and all that stuff. But we're gonna write a little gratitude journal. I have my little notepad. I'm gonna write 2023 gratitude journal. Make sure you go grab your journal now. We're doing this together. Get me? And I want you to just write things that you are grateful for. And make sure you comment down below some of your favorite ones that you're grateful for, what God has done in your life. I feel like for me, my very first one that I'm grateful for is the journey that God has brought me on, like my relationship with God. And I feel like this one is really special to me because I think you guys have also seen it happen right before your eyes. Let me write this down first. I can't do two things at once. Like I said, you guys have seen this one happen. One, switching my content from just doing hair to now talking about God and all this stuff like that. But also, you guys have also seen the growth. Like, a lot of times when I post these like weekly Wednesday shots, some of them, God literally taught me that lesson on that Sunday or that Monday, and I recorded either Monday night or Tuesday, and I upload for you on Wednesday. So literally, God is teaching me these lessons as, why is the plane being so rude right now? As I was saying, God is really bringing me through my personal relationship with him, and I feel like you guys have seen it from me talking about waiting season to now faith and trust. If you just go back on my channel, you will literally see week by week the new lesson that I'm like, I say all the time, it seems like I'm talking to you guys, but I'm also talking to myself, because I'm like, God just gave me a new revelation. And whenever I make videos, I'm like, oh, in this season of my life, and it really is, because week by week, God is really teaching me a new lesson about who he is and what he's doing. Like I said earlier, this now, Kemi, a year later, she'll be like, girl, what type of time are you on? Because the same time last year, I was in such a dark space because of trying to take control of things and not letting God work and having my own idea and timeline. So to go from that to now saying that if I don't have it, I'm okay with that, and God's gonna make it happen in his own time, and I'm okay with that, that's crazy. I know that God is still working, and I know that, yeah, I just know that he's still working, and I know that it doesn't mean that God has forgotten about me. Due season, he'll make it happen. That sounds so mature. My gosh. But that truly is one of the things that I'm most grateful for. And I think I mentioned in one of my last videos, learning to love God for who God is and not for what he can do for me. That was, I think, one of like the key points in my personal relationship with God, and say that I want to serve God just for who you are. And if it's just me and you, I'm okay. Like, that's I think one of my biggest revelations that I had this year, and I'm glad that I'm constantly working on getting to that point of where I can say that statement confidently and boldly. Honestly, I'm gonna put as my number 2. I'm alive and well, which is a great thing, because all the going out and coming in, like literally driving, I don't drive that much, what am I talking about, but I still drive to work. I go on trains. I went to Maryland this weekend. Again, the train broke down. So many things could have, we were literally in the train, stuck on the train at about like midnight. Like, so many things that have gone wrong, but I thank God because I'm alive and well. So that's definitely like number 2 for me. Number 3, oh, I gotta get into like the family stuff. All the weddings. I thank God for all the weddings. I thank God for all the, literally that's what I'm gonna say. All the weddings and the unions. There were so many weddings and unions this year. The 2 of my siblings and the 1 of my cousin, but also other people in my life as well too, that just, I know that also got married, and I'm so grateful that God is doing a great thing, and I'm seeing a great representation of kingdom marriages. I think it's so easy. Don't get me wrong, I've heard some, I'm a hairstylist, I've heard some stories of, my gosh, people are going through it, which kind of ties into my second point of, I want to share this because I think also in the quest of we didn't get certain things in life, it's also so easy to forget that God is truly protecting us for certain things. Yeah, certain things might not change, but you're not aware of what God is protecting you from. And this is truly not to make mockery of anybody's story, but I've heard some crazy stories that should make me want to be single for the rest of my life, that makes me want to be like, absolutely not. No. Although I didn't get in a relationship, God maybe saved me from getting in a relationship with somebody that was going to send me to 3 years of therapy. I don't know. That's a pretty good day. That's a pretty good thing in my book. Yeah, sure, I wanted a relationship. but I also don't want to get into something that I don't have any business getting into. Thankful for what you're protecting me from, the seen and unseen, because there's a lot of things that goes on. Number 4, I thank you, God, for protecting me for the seen and unseen. Number 5, the moment you start to do this thing, you think you don't have a lot to be grateful for. You start to really think about it. I thank God for provision. I have clothes, I have a car that works, I have food to eat, it's winter, I have a winter coat that I can wear. Yeah, those are all things to be grateful for. So what else do I want to thank God for? I thank God for my business. That sustained me this year. I was able to travel this year and I wasn't broke. That's something to be thankful for. Supporting me financially. It was a very, very expensive year. Between inflation and all the stuff going on in life, I think I'm gonna go up to 10 and then we're gonna wrap it up. Because there are more specific things, like my business I have, and some of these I have like when somebody bought a course, or maybe when I hit like 4K and all that stuff. Let's see. Let's read one. Nah, this is a prayer point. We'll testify to this in 2024. I like this one. This one says, I found $200 in my pocket. That's something to be grateful for because I didn't know it was there. I think I remember this day I was doing laundry and I found the $200 in my pocket. Anyway, I'm gonna thank God for protecting my friends and family. I thank God for new beginnings. I thank God for all the blessings. And then number 10, I would say, I thank God for courage. As you guys have seen, this channel was pretty much all hair. And it was one of those things where I love to talk. As you guys know me, I love to talk. And I've done different talking series, but I've never stayed consistent with it. I had the Braiders Talk that I did on Instagram and on this channel as well. I even did combos with clients. Like, I've had different talking segments, but I never stayed consistent, and this is one that I really wanted to do for quite some time, but I never really did it. And as you guys are gonna see on my channel with my growth and everything, you're gonna see me like taking that step. And I kind of talk about how I was just like, well, thought I was waiting on God, but God was the one really waiting on me, because the moment I took that step, He began to download these new ideas. And I was not afraid of people to see me trying to be an influencer or a businesswoman or whatever the case, whatever you want to label me. I personally I'm just a girl that I want to upload content that makes me happy, and that's what I'm doing. But I truly was not afraid of people seeing me or feeling like, oh, is she trying to be an influencer, or is she trying to be this, or is she trying to be that? If that's your opinion on me, God bless you. Like, I truly did not care this year. I was like, I can't let fear hold me back, and I truly just stepped into courage this year. For a long time, I lived in a state of, God told me what to do, but I didn't move. But this year, it was like, God told me to jump. I was like, okay. I didn't ask how high, I didn't ask how far, I simply moved. And that was truly like, that was courage that God gave me Himself. That as long as God gave me the idea and the plan, I don't care what nobody gotta say. Knowing who I am, it's so, like, my nature is to be like, you told me to do what? Post, show my face, talk on camera? People in my life know that I'm posting? People in my life watch my video? What? But now it's just like, nah, I don't care. And that's truly, and not in a bad way, it's truly just courage of knowing that I'm walking on the path that God has called me to, and everything else is just noise. And yeah. But yeah, that's truly it for this video, guys. I truly just wanted to leave you with a few things, like I said. End this year with the gratitude. Yeah, you're looking back at your vision board being like, looking for where to check off the little boxes of what you did, and there's nowhere to check. Please don't let that stop you. Don't play small. Yeah, you might not have accomplished it, but don't look back on this year and be sad. Take a moment, breathe. Remember that there's certain things that God is protecting you from. We don't know about that, one. And number 2, just look back and be grateful for what He has done. Like, oh, and a major one, don't rule out this year. We still got 20 days left. And knowing who God is, He can still do much more in 20 days than He has in the last 11 months in your life. And I know that, and I'm saying that confidently, not just as a motivational speaker, but I'm truly saying that confidently. Like, I know God can do exceedingly abundantly above all in these last 20 days. So number 4, yeah, be grateful, be happy. I don't know what else to say. I think that was a Bible verse that I wanted to leave you guys with. One second. Highlighted it earlier. And this is when I believe Apostle Paul was talking to the Philippians. And it reads, I pray with great faith for you, because I'm fully convinced that the one who began this gracious work in you will faithfully continue the process of maturing you until the unveiling of our Lord Jesus Christ. This verse kind of sums up a good portion of my video, but the one that started this year with you, He will finish it out for you. And He's not done. He will continue His gracious work in you faithfully and continually maturing you, as it said in the Bible. Anyway, bye guys. This video is so long, 46 minutes. What have I been talking about? My gosh.